LimeVibe พร้อมและไป Lime พร้อมและไป Vibe LimeVibe พร้อมและไป Lime พร้อมและไป Vibe LimeVibe โอ้ LimeVibe.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. We're coming early tonight because we have some special news to break tonight. So we're coming to you early. This is Yori Camp. We're in a very somber mood tonight. So we're just going to get straight to it, along with my co-host Kimberly Ramkalawan. How you doing, Kim?
I'm all right. I mean, right now, I think our hearts are across in Guyana, the southern part of our Caribbean. And with, the sincerest condolences goes out to the families affected of Madia, their school. And, they lost like 19 students, according to President Dr. Irfan Ali.
Yes.
The community has been, it's been severely affected. And it was really sad to wake up to something like that.
Yes.
It's really something, that, catches your heart, and it fills you immediately with anguish and hurt and questions as to why would something like this happen.
Yes. Reports coming back that it was intentionally set,
You heard that? I did not hear that.
Yeah, I read in the AFP and the BBC that it was intentionally set. The police commissioner said it was intentionally set. It appears to be intentionally set. And it was set, it was set in the northwestern corner of the building, and so nothing's there beside from like wall and concrete. So it had to be intentionally set. So it appears to be intentionally set. So we're just going to wait for the investigators to get back with all the other conclusive information. But from the early indications that it was intentionally set.
That's really shocking to hear someone wanting to do that.
Yes,
I know that the Guyanese government, they were trying. This school was initially established in this part of what North Pacarinas. I forgive me for the pronunciation here, but it was purposely established with dormitories to help bridge the gap, education gap for those within that area, the interior parts of Guyana that were not able to access education. So they created that dormitory so students living far away within the interior were able to access education.
Yes.
And, so it's really sad. Apparently it caters mostly to the Amerindian community in Guyana, and the girls that were affected are between ages 12 and 18.
Oh, Lord.
I'm hearing that President Dr. Irfan Ali has declared the next 3 days of mourning, national mourning, with the flag going half-staff as of 4 p.m. at all public offices, public services offices, public buildings. And he described it as being his saddest day in his presidential term.
Yes.
No leader of any nation wants to go through something like this. And it's really heart-wrenching. It's gut-wrenching. And there's no words. He himself said that he's at a loss for words as to what he can say to bring any kind of comfort to those families affected. They've lost a daughter. And I heard a 5-year-old baby has died, a 5-year-old child. He was the child of one of the caretakers at the compound, the school.
Yes. Wow. And he sprung into action, Dr. Irfan Ali. He sprung into action. He's visited the place there personally, or he's going to visit the place personally, the school personally, Madia. And he's also assured that some of the students that are still critically injured, they could either be airlifted or taken to Georgetown, or taken out of the country to Barbados. And so he's really sprung into action there, And there are two other students that are critically injured that are trying to make a comeback. So, and God be with the one who they revived, because it was initially 20 that passed, but the doctors were able to revive one. And so it's God's with that person. So
I'm hearing that he even added that some of them were burnt beyond recognition. They covered. I heard that they were found crouched in a corner of the building.
Wow.
And 13 of them, it's unrecognizable, and they will require DNA samples in order to identify identify who they are.
Terrible fire. Wow. So shocking. But who would do something like that though? Why
Perhaps
would
someone trying to, I don't know if it's something against education system, if it's something to try to tarnish whatever efforts are being done to educate these people. You know, things like that. You never know what it is, what's the intentions, what.
Yes, yes. What sprung people off. Yes, yes, yes. Because the reports I saw was that the fire started in a remote part of the building where there's no like gasoline, there's no gas tanks, there's nothing there for them to actually start a fire with. So it had to be intentionally started, you know. And so it's just one of those heartbreaking things, you know. It's just so incredibly sad. So
But
incredible.
what was really heart-wrenching is that they probably more than likely would have tried to escape, but the burglar proofing seems to have prevented any sort of escape.
Yes. They were trapped in a steel case, apparently, from what I understand. Those burglar bars, you know, yeah.
And that's usually the case here in the Caribbean, where you've got high crime and you're trying to protect yourself, protect citizenry. You fall prey if you, God forbid, a fire were to occur.
Yeah.
Homes have been constructed with these burglar proofing.
Well, if you had to break out of your house for any given reason, you know, if you had to make a hasty exit from your house for any reason, you know, it becomes your tomb, you know.
Sadly.
Sadly,
I mean, I've seen that happen way too often here in Trinidad. We've had similar cases where a few weeks ago we actually had a family that perished in a fire.
yeah, I
And so
remember that.
last year we actually had like 7 children die in a fire, and their parents went home. That was the saddest thing. That was one of the sadder days in Trinidad. Here too, a few weeks ago, I think it was Easter weekend or so. But what was blamed was that the fire appliances weren't able to arrive on time to break through. These things that I think we in schools like that, you need to have what you need to do is encourage fire drills. I know in school we often had fire drills back then. The bell would ring and we would know that means that a fire is happening, and it would teach us and show us the escape route, what would be
Yes,
if
yes, what to do. Yes, in case of a fire. Yes, yes. And they said the school houses 56 students, you know.
yeah.
And, 3 had actually, and all were in the building except for 3 that went home for the summer. So yeah, it's crazy, you know. I guess God be with those people who were able to make it out, weren't trapped in that horrific fire. You know.
I mean, that's too many students to have gone through something like that.
Yes.
It's the wrong attention that you would want to focus on, especially this time of year when a lot of students are actually writing the carbon examinations, CXCs are ongoing right now, and having to deal with this, you know. So God be with those families, God be with people of Guyana, because any tragedy like this is one too many.
Yes, yes, one too many indeed. I don't know how the family's going to move forward with this, though. I mean, this has to be something that's going to scar them for the rest of their lives, man. You know, how do you move forward?
I'm sure that the Guyanese government, they are going to try their best to get some sort of compensation, if anything, because that's the least that can be done. Right now, legal matters cannot be thought of because you're in the process of processing grief.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
having comes out of your mouth now, it's going to be like wild, you know.
Exactly. So right now, you know, yes, I'm seeing that Reuters had actually said it was a matter of arson. Might have been arson.
Yeah, it might have been arson. Waiting for the investigators on the ground to finally confirm or deny that. But yeah, from what I've seen, 2 investigators have said that, you know, it could have been arson, or there's a strong likelihood that it's arson, and one including the police commissioner. So we're looking for an arson, man, arsonist. Their soul can't be resting right tonight, Kim.
No, the thing is, it's been affecting the entire Caribbean from the time I woke up this morning, and that was the first story I saw when I logged in, and the rippling effects is felt across the Caribbean because they are children of our soil. They are people. They, you know, anything like that. I know that the entire Caribbean would have rallied around Trinidad and Tobago when we had the Paria divers incident, and it's the same Yeah, right now with Ghanese people, our hearts and our prayers, sincerest prayers are with those families, with the entire nation.
Yes, yes, yes.
Really
And
thank-
just to show you how close it is to home here, one of my colleagues, she went to India earlier this year with someone who is from Guyana, who's been telling her all the details about what's going on, man. And that's to show you how close we are around the region. You know, you could be as far down as Guyana, as far down as Bermuda, and we all could get the information to each other. We all talk to each other, you know. It's
Yeah.
just shocking, man. Just shocking. You know, but I'm just so glad that Dr. Irfan Ali, you know, he sprung into action so quickly, and the government sprung into action so quickly, and the investigators are on the scene, you know, assessing the information right now. I mean, it's just amazing how quickly they've done so. You know, after a serious matter like this is absolutely, you know, this is something that's so incredibly warm to see, and so incredibly good to see. You know, to see that the government officials actually got on there, you know, their business and started to investigate this thing properly and taking the right precautions, not the right precautions, but the right steps to take the next steps into finding out what's going on, or to find out what's going on, you know. It's amazing.
I'm seeing something that was actually set by an upset student.
Mm,
Student that was perhaps angry
hmm.
that her phone was taken away by administrators of the dorm for her
Say,
behavior.
say what was taken away?
Her phone. I'm
The
seeing this
phone.
on the Ghanese media, and it's saying that it's reported that a student, it's alleged that
Mhm.
a student would have done this and was previously suspended for engaging in activities contrary to the rules of the institution.
Oh,
So
no, we getting a lot of the gossip and the rumors spreading already.
I'm seeing a news website, yeah,
Mm.
Ghana, in News Guyana.
Oh, Lord, you gotta be careful of them.
I know, we're seeing things, but it's not true.
Yeah. I hope the investigators really take it serious that we don't, you know, don't take the Caribbean route and start, you know, making a bunch of innuendos and watching, reading these online blogs and the WhatsApps, right? Because don't forget now, the Guyana is just like us as well. You know, we have our own fair share of
Yes, I know
innuendo.
false information.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
yeah,
And we'll
definitely.
kill you with false information.
Right.
We will kill you with false information. Yeah, man. But you know, Kim, that I guess that's what it is. You know, I mean, I wonder what the other Caribbean countries can do in this case.
But you said that some of them would be airlifted if they can't be taken care of. They would need skin grafting and you
Yes.
perhaps that kind of plastic surgery is often needed in situations like that.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
it's a matter of healing, things that have to happen,
mhm,
you know.
mhm. Yeah. And then perhaps probably if they need investigators, you know, we could probably, you know, spare some investigators at the very least, or have access to the finest laboratories to do the kind of investigation if they don't have it on in Guyana. You know, I think Jamaica has a crime lab as well as Trinidad has a crime lab, don't they too, right?
Yes, we actually have one as well. So
Yeah,
I believe they would be able to figure this out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
No,
wonder
nice.
what the parents are doing now though.
They are probably still trying to wrap their minds and their hearts around this entire situation.
Mm, mm,
You
yeah,
know, you're thinking you're sending your daughter off to learn and to be
yes,
where they are. And this is the last thing you ever imagine would happen.
yes, yes. Apparently, this is a co-ed school, isn't it? There's male and females there, right? Mostly females.
Okay.
Yeah, males and females there. Yeah, because they said one male died as well. There were 18 females and one male died.
Yes, this was a 5-year-old boy. He's the son of the caretaker.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you said that, right? Yeah, yeah. So it was all female school. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And he's the caretaker. I wonder how he feels. You know, he's supposed to be
Sure.
the caretaker. Yeah. So I guess we can't advocate for these steel bars anymore, you know, Kim. I mean, yeah, I know we're afraid of crime, but you know, at the end of the day, it's becoming, at least in this instance, it's become more like a trap, you know.
Usually there's one escape route that
Mhm,
you're made aware of, as
mhm,
in what you can use when time to escape.
mhm,
I mean, that's usually known by the owner As I said, what we need to advocate for are more fire drills. I'm not sure if this would have happened there in Guyana, but I know here in Trinidad, we actually have to have bombs. We actually had, a few weeks ago, we had a bomb scare issue in Trinidad, which would have prompted children to put in effect what they would have learned when it comes to where's the muster point, where to gather, and when an incident like this happens.
Yes, indeed. And
When
yeah, from what you said, that these 4 kids were in the corner cowering, weren't they? That means they didn't know how to get out from the fire.
No, I mean, if it was set like that, that means it went ablaze rather quickly. It spread rather fast. You know, more than they would have imagined. And the thing is, if they're asleep at that hour of the night, mattresses often, catch a fire, catch light rather quickly.
Yes.
And that alone, a mattress on fire, is a terrifying thing by itself.
Yes. And the smoke inhalation probably would have knocked a few of them out too, wouldn't it?
Definitely would have done that.
Yes.
That, I mean, there's a bunch of lovely, beautiful indigenous girls, that's a generation of women right there.
Yes. I guess the next thing you have to look at too is was the property they are on? Is it coveted property? Is it coveted land where the school's at?
I'm not sure.
Real estate developers, they normally do these kinds of things,
Geographical location as to what was done. It was one of the more recent construction sites, I believe. What I did hear is that one of the caretakers had actually tried to rescue some of the girls because he ran out of where he was staying to try and do something, and he was able to rescue a few. What he said is that thankfully that the rains came somewhat, and the rains actually helped douse the fire a little bit. Before fire officials would have arrived. Now, I would imagine anything like this. I'm not too sure what's the last location, the location of the most recent fire services. Responders, those respondents that needed to arrive.
Yeah. God had mercy. God had mercy on them, for whoever was left. God had mercy. I know it's hard to say that God's in it, but God's in it, man. God's in it. And he decided to take his few angels back with him, and may this be a lesson for Guyana, like how you say, learn how to do fire drills and learn how to, fireproof these homes and these dwellings and these public spaces a bit better than what it is, These steel bars are traps, be careful with them,
Oh, we will see. I mean, it's just sad. So many.
We can't talk about that now. We have to give our condolences to the families, and we can't really talk about what they have to do next. But yeah, it's something to consider, at least when all the smoke's cleared. Something to consider. Do you think we could find a family member?
I'm not sure if anyone will be able to speak right now. I mean, in situations like this, we can take what we're getting from the Guyanese media, and I will.
And no pushing
for that. Yeah.
No pushing. Well, our hearts go out to them, Kim, and that's all about we could say. Anything else about this we could talk about it here?
Just my condolences to the families, and we pray that in time peace will be found. That peace will be received by every single family member.
Yes, our heart goes out to those families that lost their loved ones in that fire, and we are with you, and we are praying for you.
Yes.
Indeed. So, Kim, what a way to start off tonight, eh? An early special night, an early special edition of LimeVibe podcast. We're not all fun and games all the time, right, Kim? We actually talk about serious stuff from time to time, and that's very serious. That's very serious, and lessons learned. But other than that, Kim, what else has been happening on your end? You okay?
Yeah, we're all right for now. I know there's a lot been happening. Otherwise, I saw right now that the World Meteorological organization is having their Congress right now. It's the 19th Congress. That will be reported in CMP tomorrow. I had Barbados is representing the Caribbean region there right now with their chief meteorological officer, Mr. Salvo West, present, and he has been speaking about the early warning systems. You know, earlier this year they would have launched the early warning systems in Barbados as to how it works. So he's been championing that there right now, and the of it here in the region, because so for quite some time we've been having sometimes freak storms happen, and they would have endured a really weird freak storm back in 2021, and it came out of nowhere basically. And it's a matter of understanding climate changes and what can happen. So all of this is entailed, and they're also looking at demographics and statistics coming out as to how climate change has been affecting the region as well.
Yes.
The ice caps melting and how it's been affecting us along the archipelago of the Caribbean, with our sea levels rising, and this also having an impact on our shorelines and our land space and everything else that's been occurring when it comes to even our resources. What they're saying, and what I thought was very interesting, was that this has been affecting millions. About he gave a number as to how many of us are being affected in the region. So apparently 28 million of us in Latin America and the Caribbean are affected by this. It's affecting the food security in the region because of these hydrometeorological hazards that have now been exacerbated.
Yes.
So what they're also looking at here at the Meteorological Congress is that there's a need for more trained staff at the weather stations within each country at every.
I can imagine. It's not very sexy work, watching the weather.
Yeah. Sabu actually said, he made a joke. His opening joke was that, I don't usually wear fancy Italian suits. He's usually he's in jeans and his jersey outside checking the barometers and all those things that
but
measure.
That credit though is I've been to a conference 2 weeks ago in Colorado, and while it's not sexy yet, they're having some new technology. They're introducing some new technology into the weather business, the meteorological business, where you can actually see 3D images of storms as they brew. And they're calling that, and they're trying to bring that from just like they're trying to bring that from the home stations into the cockpits, into the airplane, so pilots can see in real time, 3D data and 3D imaging of storms as they appear on their flight path. And this is going to be something that's going to be path breaking, man. 3D imaging of storms. I've seen some of the technology. It's beautiful, man. It's almost like a video game, but it's real. You can actually see the storm. You can see the lightning. You can see the clouds forming, and you can get a real positioning GPS tracking of where this storm is brewing. And that doesn't tickle your fancy. I don't know what would. So yeah, so tell your friend he could prepare his Italian suits very soon, because it's getting very, very sexy with meteorology, man. So that may be something they'd be talking about, the new weather machines, weather tracking machines, and weather prediction machines.
Yeah. Oh, we wait and see what else he has to bring. I know he's been representing the region quite some bit, on behalf, but with Barbados leading the way once again.
Yes.
We had the Caribbean meteorological meetings a few weeks ago when they celebrated World Meteorological Day. So a lot of them, even from Trinidad, would have met some time ago to discuss how monitoring the weather has changed over the years.
Yeah. One thing I got to say about Prime Minister Mia Mottley, she's a joiner, isn't she?
She's enjoying this.
She's a joiner. Like, she joins everything, She gets Barbados joined and everything. And that's a good thing to do, because you have so many people, you can join almost anything, man. You could have someone for meteorology, you could have someone for seismology, you could have someone for anything that you want. Just put someone to the desk at least, There's no excuse why small developing states in the Caribbean can't be a part of almost everything that's going on in the world. There's no reason.
But they've noticed an increase in heat waves and droughts within our region. Hardly ever you're seeing a decrease in heat waves and things like that in and across the entire world is being affected with extreme heat.
Yes,
And
yes.
not extreme heat, it's extreme precipitation, which is your rainfall.
Mhm.
All of this is having an impact on our agriculture and our ecology, basically what they're saying. And they measure the weather as to how it's been affecting us,
Mhm.
climate change since the 1950s. So
Yeah.
that presentation entailed all of this data and
Mhm.
how it's affected us here in the region, small island developing states. And what happens is that all islands are often not just small island developing states, but we also, some of us are probably lower developing countries, LDCs.
Yes, we are. Haiti is one,
Yes.
Yeah.
And they having to deal with these floods and storms and putting it into their
But
hands
speaking of
that they
Haiti,
need.
there was a flood in Haiti today. Did you see it?
No, I did not. Did you?
Yeah, there was a slide in Haiti today.
Wow.
Yeah, ravaged countryside, northwestern part of Haiti.
No, they don't need any more natural disasters affecting them.
No.
And it's not even, the rainy season has not come into effect yet, even though I believe after today's rains here in Trinidad and Tobago, or Met Services would have declared that, hey, the rainy season is upon us.
Yes, 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 yes.
Relatively cloudy and rainy here in Trinidad. And we're seeing quite a good bit of precipitation occurring right now. Hence my cardigan. 'Cause it's
Oh Lord, I got you. That's a beautiful shade of blue you have on though, and your necklace is perfect actually.
oh, my pearls. I always wear pearls.
Clutch your pearls. You're a pearl clutching lady, Miss Kim.
I
Clutch your
I-
pearls, Kim.
I believe every woman ought to have a good pearl chain. Of you. That's your basic accessory if you want to be ladylike.
Yes, taken seriously. That's right. That's right.
Yes,
A nice pearl necklace.
right.
Indeed. But back to this climate change thing, though. I mean, do you believe all this is being done by fossil fuels? I'm not sold on it. Even though I'm here in the Caribbean, we are affected by climate change. I'm not certain that all of this is being caused by fossil fuels and man-made to do. I think that, well, I watched a documentary yesterday, and they said about 2 million years ago, at least, maybe even more than that, the world was much hotter than this. So apparently, the Earth goes through these cycles, these heat cycles from time to time, and this is now the heat cycle.
I mean, I know they've likened it to, especially after what we went through the pandemic, that we were at the stage where something drastic has to happen. Apart
Yeah.
from our health, affecting our health, these organisms created viruses and what have you.
Mhm.
They say so the earth is at that milestone where something is bound to happen major, you know.
Mhm. And actually, the documentary I was watching. It was a documentary on the Great Dying. Happened a few million years ago, actually, where almost all life on Earth had died due to an asteroid impact, and it just put a cloud over the Earth, and everything died. When yeah, that's what happened. I believe in science to that extent, and so
I mean, when these people, they have put the Paris Agreement, put that we needed to achieve a 1.5 degrees Celsius lowering in global warming.
yes,
That happening, I don't see it happening at all.
absolutely not.
Kamina Johnson Smith would have spoken to this last week when Jamaica hosted
Yes,
UK CARIFORUM conference.
yeah, I saw.
She would have said that we're not going to meet that clearly, but we here in the Caribbean are the ones that are going to face and pay the detrimental price
Mhm.
for this increase. It's actually going to surpass the 1.5 degrees
Indeed,
Celsius.
it is.
Right.
Of course, it is.
Scientists have said it's actually going to get warmer by the year 2027.
Mhm.
They've put this 1.5 degrees Celsius, saying that we needed to achieve it by the year 2030, but I'm not seeing it. We're in 2023. And industrialization has gone up. I can't say it has decreased in any way. We've
No.
ramped up industrialization. There's a greater demand for a lot of things that are happening. We depend so much on electronics. So apart from the fossil fuels, we've got the whole issue of the production of plastics. we've got manufacturing happening. Manufacturing does account for a certain percentage of greenhouse gases emitted. If we were to look at that, I know in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a heavy manufacturing sector as well. And they've actually done research. Ministry of Planning and Development and other external agencies would have done research as to how much manufacturing actually manufacturing contributes to global warming in our region, in Trinidad and Tobago. It's quite a good bit, I would think.
Quite significant. Yeah. I don't get me wrong. I mean, of course, we are contributing something to it. We're contributing something to it, of course, and we should slow down, especially with plastics. We should not poison the earth anymore with these plastics. But at the end of the day, the earth is just changing, man, and maybe there's very little we can do about it. We may be able to slow it down a half a millisecond, but to say that we're going to stop this trajectory moving forward of the earth getting warmer, I don't think we can. I think it's just a part of the earth cycle. It's just a natural thing.
No, I don't think so. The damage has been done. We've taken away a good bit of the forest. If humans do need to take account for the damages they have done to the earth.
Yes, indeed.
Endangered species, we have extinct species. Why have they gone extinct? Because we have removed their natural habitats.
Yes.
And we need to take accountability for that. We here in Trinidad have experienced things like that. Birds are no longer exist. Birds that were once native to our country, but it's no longer there because we've probably eroded a good bit of our mangroves. Certain parts of the country, the mangrove swamps have been taken over for either doing onshore drilling, or if not, they're clearing it for housing and development.
Yeah, I agree with that. An overall environmental conversation, yes, we can have that because I've seen it happen where we've seen, habitat destroyed, wetlands destroyed, and we've seen species be displaced and be destroyed. We nearly lost our turtles, our sea turtles, because of overfishing 20 years ago. We had to stop. We had to ban the catching of turtles so we could save the turtle population here.
Yeah, we have to remind them every turtle season. We have to remind them that, hey, the leatherback turtle, we should consider ourselves blessed to have creatures go around the entire world. They travel all the way from Africa sometimes, lower parts of South America, to our shores to lay their eggs. And you used to see people doing cruel things to these animals.
Oh yes, and they can't get out of the way,
and it's a matter of educating our people. It's a matter of educating and going beyond education at the lowest levels. They need to interact with these animals. We need to understand that we share this earth with others, not just one another, not just the generation to come ahead of us, but we share this earth with animals.
Yes.
Birds that fly in the air and fish that live in the sea and other animals that live on the land.
Yes, indeed, Kim. You need to take care of them, man. Have you ever tasted turtle meat before?
No, if you don't know it by now, I only eat poultry.
Oh, since you were a child. I mean, even when you were a child, you never had turtle meat?
No, we would not think of anything like that.
Yeah. It tastes horrible, actually. I don't know why people are actually killing these turtles because the meat tastes terrible. It tastes tough and it's rancid. It doesn't taste good at all. It almost tastes like tough liver. It's that bad. Yeah, you don't want to, I don't know if people are killing them, And while I'm here, what else is overrated? Crawfish is an overrated seafood. I said it. That's a hot take. Crawfish, overrated seafood.
I've always wanted to eat crawfish. I'm allergic to seafood, terribly allergic.
Yeah, I know.
And
you're not missing anything, Kim. You're not missing the thing. Crawfish and lobster is overrated.
I miss lobster. I miss crab. We have a dish called curried crab and dumplings here in Trinidad. And I always enjoyed that. And then there's a way that
you're allergic?
Yeah, when I was a child, I was able to eat it. And then allergies came upon me and it just triggered everything really bad. But as a child, I know how it tastes. I always wanted to have crawfish. I never was lucky enough to come across it. Even a lobster, I enjoy a good lobster. Lobster was good. Crab, I always love crab. But I mean, Yeah, seafood. Hard luck for me there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not missing anything though, Kim. People clamor for it, but crawfish is like, well, okay. I mean, I've had it before. It's not something I would say, oh, if I go to a restaurant, I'm gonna order crawfish. I'm gonna have crawfish. It's not that good. I mean, it's okay. You can eat it, but it's not something that you could, write home to your mom and say, oh, I had crawfish tonight. You know.
Okay, I guess because you all are mostly like that, are in those islands where seafood is a mainstay. You
Yeah.
know, we thrive off other meat like duck and chicken. They eat a lot of goat here in Trinidad,
Yeah,
actually.
I can imagine. Curry goat.
Goat. They eat a lot of curry. It's different from what Jamaica serves as. It's totally different. So I grew up eating all meats actually, but I stopped when allergies took over.
Okay, I got you.
Thing though, there's the iguana population. I know it's quite rampant in the Turks and Caicos.
Oh yes.
Iguanas, and a good Trini would see that as an opportunity.
I know. I've seen the videos you guys catching iguanas, man. And in the Bahamas, they're friends. You can't catch iguanas here. You actually go to jail if you catch iguanas here.
And in Florida, they have taken over parts of Florida. I heard news reports are showing that iguanas, they're quite an invasive species right now. I'm surprised, and they actually have bounties out for people, people to go and catch as many iguanas as you'd like.
Wow.
Have so many Trinis in Florida. I would assume that they would have taken advantage of this by now.
Oh my goodness.
Trinis eat everything, and that's one thing I hate about Trinidadians, because they eat wild meat. We have quite a bit of indigenous animals. There's a lap, there's a manikou, which is what you all would call I know what you
Like
know.
a capybara?
Possum.
Possum? Oh yeah, I think I've seen a video of that too in Trinidad. Yeah, but you guys also have capybaras too, don't you?
Yes, that started coming over from Venezuela.
Yeah.
That too. An interesting fact that I heard over the Lenten season is that Venezuelans actually see that as a fish because they needed to eat meat during Lent, and they considered it the capybara life in water.
Yeah, it is semi-aquatic. Yeah, when I see, yeah.
Not to be eaten though.
But they're furry little friends though. I mean, they're almost like pets. You could almost domesticate them, can't you?
Big rodent. They look like a big guinea pig. A really huge guinea pig, right?
But they're peaceful though. They're not aggressive. You can almost tell.
They look like someone's pet you can have in a backyard. Why would you want to eat a rabbit?
Yeah.
They eat gators. I mean, we have caimans, and caiman is all gator here in Trinidad.
Yes.
They eat that, and I don't understand. I mean, yeah, snakes and gators, they would eat everything. It's disgusting. So, I mean, it's a good thing that I only eat chicken, and I only eat poultry, chicken, duck, turkey. I'm not going to eat anything else.
No mystery meat for you.
No mystery meat,
Goodness. I hear you, man. But yeah, we don't have such fauna and animals over here. We have the first we get is iguanas. We have a lot of iguanas here, but they're protected animals though. So I don't know why Miami doesn't send the iguanas here to the Bahamas, because we'll take them. We have iguana sanctuaries, Yeah, if you were caught catching a rock iguana here, you can go to jail, man. There was a guy 3 years ago. He was a foreigner. He was caught with at least 5 iguanas in his suitcase traveling out of the country with him, and he was arrested. Yeah, he was arrested. Yeah, you can't catch iguanas here, man.
But the thing is, they've got how Trinidadians usually have them selling. They have them hanging by their tails. That means they're stressed out in the sun. Their body's actually built up with lactic acid, so the meat is not even going to taste anything good.
Yeah.
But
such cruelty, right?
See them. I see them in their eyes. It's like, no. Sometimes if you're lucky, they happen to come across in your yard and they're on a tree and they camouflage themselves. You just leave them. You don't go patting them. No, they can't put a dangerous bite on your finger.
I guess you can't take going to a farm, Kim.
What do you mean? Yeah, I always wanted to have a farm here. Where my parents live, they have like 5 cows across the road.
Okay. No, but you've never seen them slaughter for meat though, right?
Sadly, we have butcher shops around that you actually pass by and you hear it, you see it. I had
Yeah,
friends
yeah,
one
yeah.
and he had a pig for a pet, and then
Mm.
they killed it for to make it a ham.
Yeah, yeah, I know, I know, I know.
I,
My heart breaks when I see them kill the goats, though. The
yeah,
goats are freaking, yeah, because they make noise.
in Trinidad, it's popular that
Mm.
you actually have butcher shops along the road, and it's open, and they
Mm.
have goats right there, and you actually see them slaughtered, and they would have the entire half of the animal hanging.
Yes, 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 yes.
You're going to see its head, its eyes. You
I
know, I
mean,
can't.
after it's done, you could take it, but not while it's being prepared. You could, after you've seen the meat, you could say, well, okay, that's the carcass there, fine, but not when it's actually going into slaughter. You can't stomach that, man. If you're an animal lover, you can't stomach that.
Yeah, that's one thing. So I mean, at one point in time, I was vegetarian because of my allergies.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I also wanted to become a vet as a teenager. I think
Oh,
I told you that at one
you did.
point. Yeah, I was studying sciences in hopes of becoming a veterinarian.
Mhm, mhm.
Then when I went to do biology at CXC level, I couldn't stomach blood.
Uh, yeah, you got it that quickly, Kim.
When that happened, it's like, alrighty, I don't think I could do this anymore.
Mm, mm, mm.
And that's why I said, let me transition toward engineering. Lord and
Need-
behold, I ended up in communication.
Yeah, like, we have to report on all this bloodshed, right? So what's better? I don't think I could see people in pain. I don't think I could have been a doctor myself either. I can't bear to see people in pain. To see them writhing in pain, as you have to actually help them. You have to look at them while they're writhing and flying around in pain, and see them at their worst state. I don't think I could do that, Kim.
I know. I mean, I myself, I can't even handle my own self in pain.
Yeah, and to see, especially if someone's crying in pain, and you could see they're all messed up. They have a horrible injury. Oh my goodness, how do you comfort somebody like that? How do you look at that and not turn your head away? And you have to actually look at that. You have to actually put that person back together. That's too much, man. I'll cry.
I have two cousins who are currently studying medicine and they're going to become doctors. One is in her final year. Yeah, two of them are in their final year.
Mm.
I listen to the stories that they have, and actually, my sister-in-law is a doctor as well, and she too has some really disgusting stories from the hospital.
I can imagine.
So yeah,
And the heartbreaking thing, knowing you can't really help somebody, you only could just make their passing easy. You know.
well, it comes to that. But I know in their training, they've been taught as to how to make their last moments most comfortable
Mm.
and be reassuring. And they've
Really.
experienced those things. I remember hearing about, experiencing their first death on shift and things like that. It's really horrible. Friends as well, and they've had to deal with it. So
Wow.
it's something different. No one ever gets over seeing someone die.
Absolutely not.
Trained professional.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I guess when you see the first one, I guess it may get easier, but nah, you can't get over that, man.
Especially if you've interacted with them and you've heard them and you've seen their families.
Mm.
So every human is connected in some way, and we connect with each other.
Yes. Yes.
So there's a level of it touching our hearts and our souls in some way.
Yes. Yes. We are the branches to the body.
Yeah, it's only so much we can, separate ourselves from these things.
Yes. Yes. Indeed. Indeed. Like I said, I can't see someone in pain. I just can't see them in pain, man.
Oh yeah, pain.
So just like these parents in Guyana, these doctors dealing with these children in Guyana, they are the heroes now. They especially the doctors that saved the one who had to be revived. They're heroes, man.
Yeah.
They are heroes, and we must give them all the strength that they could, all the prayers and the best wishes that we could, because they're doing a yeoman's job in Guyana, man, Kim. The bandage up all those injured children, and to console families, and as well as look in the eyes of some of them who they're not going to be the same anymore for the rest of their life. Man, that's a tough thing to go through, man. That's a serious thing to go through, Kim.
It is, and I'm hearing that a pair of twins it's reported that a pair of twins was actually lost in the fire.
Oh wow.
children for one family. And I'm
Yeah.
sure they're not the only family that has lost multiple.
No, absolutely not. I said it was 56 students altogether, and that supposed to be in that dormitory, and 20 and 19 were gone. So, yeah,
That's It's not going to be the same for them. They're going to have to find a way to move on. And I don't think anyone is actually going to want to return to school there because that's
absolutely.
going to be, always present.
Yeah. There's no school. It's gone, isn't it?
Gone. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's gone. They have to find some alternative means. They have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go back.
Definitely. No one would want to.
No. So yeah. Wow.
Other Caribbean news, though, I'm hearing that Russia and Cuba have signed an agreement for tourism. Have you heard anything like
Really?
that?
No. I have to ask my Cuban contact.
I'm hearing that a Russian airline actually signed for direct flights from Moscow to Cuba.
America's gonna love that. America's gonna love that indeed.
Yeah.
Food on your doorstep.
Yep.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sure he has been there. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
They connect on their political similarities, I assume.
But something, Russia isn't communist anymore, and Cuba's still holding on to it.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I don't know. But
it's such a boost, like 500,000 Russians as tourists coming to the shores of Cuba.
yes.
Great, yeah, that's quite a good bit. And this is expected to help boost the building of hotels, repairs to their hotel infrastructure, and helping with training of in the entire tourism hospitality sector. So that's what they're hoping for. That's why this MOU was actually signed with both tourism ministries and Russian Economic Development Ministry.
And every Caribbean country should be afraid that Cuba's opening up to tourism. Every Caribbean country, because why would you want to come to the Bahamas or Jamaica or Trinidad when you go to Cuba?
Go to Cuba.
An exotic experience.
That is something I've always heard. When this whole when Obama had lifted the whole thing with Cuba some years ago, that was in 2014 to 2015. He had spoken to doing that. All countries here in Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, or Foreign Affairs Minister, I would have sat down with him at the time, and he would have said, Cuba was the roaring tourist attraction back in the 50s and 50s, so.
Yeah.
It was the prime destination for those to come and experience Caribbean life. Apart from their beaches and their product, they've got a melting pot of culture that is rich and diverse. You are going to want to partake it. Plus, they've been able to maintain this olden vibe. So they've got these vehicles that are antiques that they've preserved on their land. That makes it seem like you've gone back in time.
Yes, indeed. They have cars back in the 50s, that they just keep on repairing, and it's almost like you step into a warp zone, into a whole, And the buildings, from what I've seen, I've not visited. I'd like to visit there before I become spoiled with all the other trappings and the money and stuff like that, and all the tourists traipsing in and out of the country. I want to go there while it's still relatively pristine. I want to see the people as they are. I have a lot of friends that have gone to Cuba. Apparently, the trip doesn't cost that much, about $300 round trip.
Yeah, well, you guys are closer.
Yeah. And of course, we abuse it. A lot of our guys that go over to Cuba to pick up Cuban women because they're cheap and they're easy and they're beautiful, right? But
I think Bahamas as a jumping stone to the US.
Oh yeah. We got some horn dogs here, man. And every time they pick up a Cuban wife, the Cuban wife ends up leaving them. We had a famous businessman. I think I told you this before. We had a famous businessman here. Yeah, he brought his Cuban wife, and after she got here, she just disappeared. He didn't see anyone for the rest of his life. He died heartbroken, man, because he loved her. But apparently she only wanted to get from here to the United States. And just as soon as she got to the Bahamas, about 6 months afterwards, she disappeared on him. She left. Never to see him again. That's cold-hearted, though. He must have been mean to her, though. Because even though that she knew that she was trying to escape Cuba, right? if you have any kind of feeling for the man, you know, you don't leave him like that. He had to have done something to her, you know.
You think so?
Yeah, man, he had to have done something to her because she wasn't gonna leave, even though she was leaving, she was not gonna leave him cold-heartedly like that, knowing that was gonna hurt him like that. She was gonna ease him out of the relationship at least. But she that's that cold turkey. That was meant to hurt him, man.
That's
Poor
meant-
guy. He died a heartbroken man.
I can't say. I mean, the nature of women and everyone are different.
See,
Yeah,
you're talking about the sweet side of women, you know. We have some real cold-hearted women out there, man.
I'm not saying it's sweet. I'm saying you never know their agenda.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see
Yeah.
it happening here in Trinidad often.
Mm,
And they look like they're so in love.
mhm.
And it's not really that. It's not really that.
No,
They
it's
would-
not.
A lot of them have actually brought their husbands and say, "Oh, that's my cousin."
Yeah, indeed. You know, I don't want to speak out of school, but Jamaicans do that a lot, actually. The Jamaicans out here. Yeah, Jamaicans do that a lot. Oh, this is my cousin. My cousin. This is my nephew. And meanwhile, that's their husband all the time. And so you think you're married. and Jamaican men and women do the same thing. Oh, this is just my sister. And you know, you're there, you think you're marrying someone who loves you, and you know, he's bringing his people over, and that's his wife or his fiance, or that's her wife, that's her husband or her fiance. And they get away with this a lot of times, man. Jamaicans do this, they're keen for that. You know,
Yeah,
they're keen for that here in the Bahamas. Yeah, yeah. And we're so foolish, we go after them, you know.
stick to your own kind.
Yeah. Stick to someone who loves you, man, you know.
That's true. I mean, the thing is, they put it's a lot of people put up this front that hey, we do love you, we care for you, we do all of this, but we're really, looking to get something in the end.
Yeah, yeah, indeed.
That's when you want, if something is too good to be true, then it's more than likely too good to be true.
Yeah, indeed, exactly. Especially if they're so accommodating to you initially, you know. No one is that accommodating in an opening relationship where they're willing to do anything for you and with you, you know. You have to be reserved. You have to watch and you have to be reserved, man. Take your time. Take time to know them.
Exactly.
This is not an overnight thing.
You need to be welcomed into the family house. Go
Exactly.
visit their families. Take a trip.
Yeah, do your investigations, man.
Find out their families. Find out what they're really about before you
Yeah.
make a commitment. Don't just take it at first glance and put your heart and your earnings and everything out there.
Mhm. Indeed.
You're going to get trapped. Certainly, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get broken
Yes.
heart.
Yes. But I believe broken hearts, I think that's good for the soul, though. I believe broken hearts make you stronger. You know, it prepares you for other things down the road because there are a lot of things going to break your heart. I believe that's a part of nature, you know. And I think it proves that you are someone who's capable of love, you know, because without a broken heart, how would you know that you actually love somebody, you know?
I guess so. I mean, when you go through broken hearts, it teaches you a lesson to value the next person.
Exactly. And change your approach.
Apart from change your approach.
Mhm.
It teaches you a lot of things as to appreciate a relationship and what it's worth and how to value it and how to invest properly,
How to treat somebody's child, man.
and to be careful and to look at it through newer lens. I believe, but it is heart wrenching. You know what it is. I mean, going through any heartache, I don't ever want to endure anything like
Yes. Heartache, man.
heartache. I've gone through my share of heartache. And being married does not mean that you haven't gone. You spared of heartache. There are heartaches within a marriage. I'll
Yeah.
tell you. It's a different level of heartache, and you've got to prepare yourself for that too.
Oh,
So
Lord.
I think you're safe and you're remedied and you've forgotten what a heart.
And they
Loving-
disappoint you.
Yeah.
They disappoint you.
Loving someone means putting yourself out there. If you're loving someone till eternity,
Mhm.
that is your heart is involved. Your
Mhm.
heart is vulnerable. Your
Mhm.
heart is in a state where it's constantly needing to nurture and care for someone else. And
Yes.
God, something which happen, you put yourself. Your heart is on worn on your sleeve.
Yes. And you can't do it without putting your heart out there, Kim. I mean, I've seen people get in relationships and they be so guarded for the rest of their lives. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And they've never really experienced what it is to be in a relationship with somebody because their heart is so guarded. My thing is, if you love somebody, go for it. I mean, yeah, you're gonna hurt, but still, my goodness, live a little, man. Live a little. Experience what it is to love somebody.
what do you think is a true test of true love? What's a test to know that it's true love?
When you're able to tolerate somebody's nasty habits and what they've done to you. If you're able to look past and forgive somebody and say, I forgive you for what you've done to me, that's a mark of true love. That's I just forget what you've done to me. I really put that on the side. I love you so much. I put what you've done to me on the side, and I'm willing to look past your idiosyncrasies and what you've done to me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm willing to look that aside. And I can imagine that a lot of people right now that are living with people that they've had to really dig down deep and forgive. I have to forgive you. I forgive you, man. I forgive you for what you've done. I know you didn't know what you did. I know you didn't know it was going to end up like this, but I forgive you. Let's walk with a clean slate, because that's what God does, is, God wipes the slate clean. He said, I forgot, forget that. I forgot what you've done. I won't even think about that. Let's move forward with something else. And don't even talk about what happened in the past.
But I mean, okay, supposing you haven't gone through something that bad. Supposing you've actually, I mean, looking to forgive, yes, but I mean, what tells you that, hey, I think I've met the one person that this is it?
Oh boy. And you can't stop thinking about them, man. Even when you're apart, you just can't stop thinking about them. You think about them all the time. I really care about what you're doing right now.
Okay.
And you may not be talking to me. I really want to know what's happening with you.
Okay. Fair enough. I would take that. I mean, I can't. I mean, I've been in a relationship that long, but I think there's maturity that comes with a relationship. Yeah, thinking about them at all times, but really, yeah, looking past whatever flaws there is physically,
Yes,
externally, internally. Yes, you're looking past that and really caring for that person. That when a day is over, it's like, I want to know, how was your day? I want to listen to you and I want to hear you.
It's a lifestyle, Kim. Loving is a lifestyle. It doesn't just happen with the person you're lover. It happens with, taking life every day and loving people. It's a lifestyle, man. It's not just, I love you today or you're my lover. It's a lifestyle. You have to actually embrace people for what they are. You have to actually be accepting and love people, man.
Yeah.
Say, hey, something, I see what you've done. I know what you're about, but hey, I'm going to look past that. I'm going to be with you as you are today. It takes a lot, and I think I'm maybe maturing, Kim. I may be maturing a lot. I think I'm maturing. Because I didn't have these thoughts, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was too self-absorbed. I was too selfish. But I think I'm in a space right now where I can love somebody other than myself. I would like kids now too, actually. I think I'm in a position that I can love somebody other than myself. My selfish self,
Children do take up a good bit of energy and time.
Yeah, I do. I think I could bring somebody else, shepherd a young man into the next generation. I can do that.
A young girl. Let me hear you with a daughter.
Maybe. I don't think I don't think I have the conversation with the period. I can't have that conversation with us.
Not for you. That's mostly the moms do.
Yeah, some of the moms are right, but I don't think I even be in the same room with that conversation because I wouldn't know what to say. Get a tissue.
Believe you guys, you would have to do a lot of things with your daughter. People think once you have a girl child, your hands off, but it's not true. You've actually got to raise that young lady to respect and understand what men are all about. Because you're her role model as to what is a good man. And when it comes to her finding someone, it's going to be a reflection of what you've taught her and your role in her life.
Yeah, exactly. Because she's going to be using me as a barometer, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. And most young ladies, they usually pick up someone that, has that kind of personality like their father, because it does not go looking, you don't go purposely looking for it. It just happens.
Yeah, because that's what you know, and that's what you've grown accustomed to. That's the man who, from since you were born, was holding you up in his arms and kissing you and telling you he loves you. So of course you want to see that. Of course you want more of that.
Positivity that he it's in your life, what he does to nurture you. You want that. The companionship you even have with your dad, the kind of conversations you have with him is the one thing that you're going to actually look for when it comes to having a good
the reinforcement. The reinforcement, Kim, the love.
Yes, it is.
So Kim, I said we were going to get out here before 9 o'clock. So we talked about the guy in the fire, and that was a real serious issue. So I appreciate us breaking that bit of news here to the rest of the Caribbean. Once again, our condolences to the families involved in the Matia fire in Guyana. My heart goes out to you on behalf of Kimberly and myself. I just want to wish you my condolences. All the children that passed, the parents, and all the children that were injured there, the people that were injured, my condolences. And I wish everything could, get better soon. Kim, any final thoughts?
Just to know that our hearts are with them across the entire Caribbean mourns with you, Guyana.
Yes, yeah.
I say that because we are truly one people, and President Irfan Ali has been one of a supporter of the entire region when it comes to doing things for food security, and we've heard him, and we mourn with our sister nation in Guyana tonight.
Indeed, indeed. So there we have it. So Kim, thank you once again for joining me again for another LimeVibe Live podcast. I want to thank you out there for watching us. Thank you for joining us for an early edition of the LimeVibe Live podcast, a very special edition of the LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yori Kemp, signing off for my co-host, Kimberly Ramkalawan. So we'll see you again on Wednesday night at our regular time, 8:30 to 9:30. So if you have not done so already, please like and subscribe to these videos on Facebook and YouTube. It really helps us out a lot. So go to LimeVibe 77, LimeVibe 77 as our Facebook and YouTube page. So please subscribe and like our videos. It really helps us out a lot. So this is Yori Kemp again saying goodbye.